Okay, we are live. This is Attorney Vince Davis, and this is The Secret, How to Fight CPS and Win. Tonight's show is going to try to focus on evidence in CPS cases. I'm here with very special guest, is it Kayla Sue? Kayla, can you hear me?
Yes, this is Kayla.
Okay.
Hi.
How are you?
Kinda. It's kind of a spotty.
Okay.
Good. How are you?
Doing good. So, what's going on?
Good.
What state are you in?
I'm involved in DHS. I have 3 children. Excuse me?
I didn't say anything.
This signal sucks. Oh, I thought you said something. Sorry, it's really spotty. Okay. Well, anyways, do you want me to start with my story, or
Well, what state are you in?
I don't exactly know what you.
Can you hear
What
me?
state? Iowa.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you. It's just really spotty. Not
What
clearly. No.
what is, I mean, do you have a bad internet connection or something?
Yes, I'm down in my basement though right now because my kids are upstairs. And they're kind of loud. So
Unfortunately,
this is my quiet place down here. But
unfortunately,
it usually does work down here, but
okay, Kayla, you keep freezing.
it's really spotty. It's not working.
Yeah.
What?
Hey, Grace, try to give her a call and find out. She's having technical difficulties. Miss G, how are you? Miss G, can you hear me?
Yeah, I said I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, you were muted. So, what's going on today?
What's going on today?
Mm-hmm.
Are you asking me if I have any questions for you today?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because I said what's going on today, and you kind of looked at me like you didn't hear me.
Yeah. So,
Do you have any questions for me? We're talking about evidence tonight in CPS cases.
yeah. So, when is evidence supposed to be submitted into court? Is it on your first hearing or second hearing or
Evidence is used at every hearing, and it's
every hearing?
presented. Yeah, and it's presented by every party. But let me tell you what isn't evidence. Evidence, your attorney's argument is not evidence. Evidence is usually testimony of a witness, a live witness on the witness stand, or documentary evidence introduced by one of the parties, like a social worker report. I talked to someone today, and I hear this story all the time. They had their trial and they lost. And I said, "Well, you had a trial?" "Yeah, we had a trial, Mr. Davis." "Did you testify?" "No." "Did any witnesses testify?" "No." Did you put in any documentary evidence?" "What do you mean by that?" "Well, any reports or declarations or anything?" "No." "Our attorney just argued." "Oh, then you must have lost the trial." "Yeah, how'd you know that?" "Well, you didn't put any evidence. And the only evidence in the case was the social worker's report. And if the social worker's report goes unchallenged, 9.9 times out of 10, social worker is going to win." You know, I talk to so many people about the law of this, the law of that, the Constitution this, the Constitution that. The law means nothing if you don't have the evidence. Does that make sense? I'm not reading your lips very well. Might be you'll go unmuted.
Okay. I guess the reason I'm asking you these questions is because most of the calls I had today, they said that the court-appointed attorney told them they can't submit. Basically, anything pertaining to their case and they have evidence to contradict the social worker's allegations against them, their attorney tells them it's not time for those to be submitted into court.
I find that hard to believe. I mean, I believe the people that are calling you, but that doesn't make sense.
But
That
it
doesn't
but
make sense.
it's true. It's true.
Well, you you weren't there, so I'm not sure you can say that it's true. But this is what people are telling you, and you believe them. If an attorney says it's not time to submit evidence, you need to find out when is the time to submit evidence, right? Because that's how you're going to win your case. That's how you're going to get your child back. I was meeting with someone today, and they wanted me to file a 388 to get back into court before the next court hearing, which I think it was in September. And I said, well, I need something to file with the 388. I need evidence. And the client was like, what do you mean? And I said, well, you say you're doing all the programs. You need letters, certificates, that type of thing, letters. You need to show that to the judge so the judge can determine whether you're going to have a hearing or not on your 388. Nothing happens without evidence. And it's hard for me to explain that. The law that everybody talks about in the Constitution, that's like the car, okay? The evidence is like the gasoline. You don't have any gas, that car can look as pretty as you want it to look, but it ain't going nowhere, right? So in every
Mhm.
case, you got to have evidence. Evidence is in the form of witness testimony. Evidence is in the form of documentary evidence. That means pieces of paper, pictures, videos, that type of thing.
Okay. Now, when it comes to evidence, I mean, when it comes to trials, can you submit evidence during the trials?
You can submit evidence at any hearing, especially during a trial.
Hmm. What if the court-appointed attorneys don't submit those evidence? I know it's hard for you to believe it, but I do believe the people that I spoke with. I do believe them. I really, really, really believe them. I do believe that the court-appointed attorneys will tell them no. I do believe that the court-appointed attorneys will also tell them they subpoenaed and they did not subpoena anyone to come to testify. In fact, therapists, all these people never been subpoenaed to testify. So why do they mislead people? You might not be able to read their minds, obviously, but there has to be a reason behind, you know, there's always a purpose for deception.
Sometimes the the statement is sometimes based upon just laziness.
Hmm. So basically, they tell their clients that they subpoenaed, but they did not subpoena because they're lazy. They're not
Hmm.
lazy to open their mouth to spread the lie, though.
Well, let's take a look at a case for a second. Okay, let's take a look at your case.
I'm not talking about mine. I'm talking about the people I spoke with today. There's a 13-year-old that just died. You know,
I read
died.
about that. I think I read about that someplace.
Right. So,
Wh-
anyways, that 13-year-old was never being abused. The mother had evidence to be able to express it to the courts.
Where did I read about that? Was that on Google or somewhere in our office?
I
Some type of notes or what? What?
I
Where?
really don't know. I really don't know where you read it. Anyways, I spoke to the mother today, and the third. Okay, this whole thing is ridiculous. The mother never done drugs. She's never been in trouble with the law, and her two daughters. It's just false allegation was made against her for retaliation, and none of the no drug. All the drug testing came out negative. I mean, I've seen her file. She emailed it to me. Nothing in her record whatsoever. The teenagers kept saying, I want to go to mom. I want to go to our mom. I want to go to our mom. We want to go to our mom. But they wouldn't listen to them. 13-year-old ran away multiple times and went to the mother. And the mother had to do the right thing and called social workers and tell them that the daughter, is with her. She came to her home. They came and picked her up. The social worker was so sarcastic with the daughter. She was she was so mean. I saw the video, and she was treating her so badly. Like, she was being sarcastic and arrogant and no remorse whatsoever. And when she went back to the group home, she ran away again, but this time she didn't come back. And she was literally begging not to go back, but they don't. And then there's this 50-year-old man who introduced her to drugs, and the group home knows about it. Social workers knows about it, but they still kept the relationship with that man and her and that girl. And then the mother was reporting. She made several reports to the social workers, and even her court-appointed attorney didn't care. So she asked her court-appointed attorney, would you rather see my daughter on the street doing drugs with this man, or would you rather my daughter's come home to me? And he said, I am for the social workers. Basically, he sides with the social workers. She asked him, whose side? I mean, then why are you helping me with my case? And his thing was, he was asked to. She was assigned to him. I guess my point is that although you can't believe it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's false. It doesn't necessarily mean they're not doing that. You might know one court-appointed attorney who's decent. That doesn't necessarily mean the 99 of them are too. They're actually corruption everywhere, county, state, everywhere.
Where did this death occur? What state?
LA County.
I think I read something about it. So, is it on the news stations and everything already?
I don't know.
I
I
think I
really
came
don't know.
I think I came across a post. I can't remember, but I do remember something vaguely about a 13-year-old child getting killed in foster care. Do we know the details how it happened?
The mother was crying so hard. That poor lady, she was crying so hard. Like, she was nonstop. I was trying to comfort her more than anything. But every time she had to mention her daughter's name, it's like she would like literally faint and come back to life again. And that is not a cry of an abusive mom. That's a cry of a hurt mom.
Why did they allegedly take the child away from her? What were they accusing the mom of?
The sad situation is that the grandmother, the mother's mom, is a controlling woman. Um, the grandmother told the mom to pick them up at 9, and she was running errands for the girls, like, was for them. And she came at 9:30 or 9:15, something like that. and the grandmother got mad at her, so she retaliated against her own daughter. So her daughter said, "Mom, it's not a big deal. I had to run some errands for the girls." Because what happened was she gave legal guardianship to her mom before because she lost her job. She lost her home. Then her mom said, "I will give you the kids back after you get back on your feet." That was the whole idea. She got back on her feet and she got a place to live and she has a job and she was making up the girls' room, I guess, something like that. I'm not sure, but um she didn't know that she didn't know that she had to remove the legal guardianship from her mom. She just trusted her mom. She said, she's abusive, but she can't hate her grandkids, right? She felt like she would have more love for the grandkids than her. So she trusted the fact she's not going to take the kids from her. But the grandmother used that against her. And when she took the kids, the grandmother scratched her arm and she called the police and said that the mother kidnapped the children. And she didn't kidnap the kids. The kids were already living with her. So her neighbor told her that she's all over the news and for kidnapping. And she said kidnapping. She couldn't believe it. And then it was just sad. And she didn't touch. In the kids even told the police, our mom never touched grandma. Never touched her. Never hit her. Never scratched her. Nothing. And I just, I guess in my heart, I couldn't believe that family would hurt each other like that. Especially grandparents. I mean, I just couldn't believe that. But her actions um, led the kids to be in a group home. And now that same grandmother has her youngest two. I believe ages 5 and 8, something like that. And she's very controlling. She said that she's always been controlling mom, but the one that paid the price is 13-year-old. 13-year-old. She told me she was so innocent when she was with her, but she saw a change in her when she left, when she went to the group home. And she told her that guy was giving her cocaine. And the social worker, when I said she was being sarcastic, she said, "I'm glad you didn't overdose this time," with a smile on her face. And she said, "No," she said, at least you didn't overdose this time. I hope you're not going to, I hope you're not something about like distracting her, like making her life hell that she has to come look for her again. Something like that, in that effect. But the mother was in tears when she was telling me. So she wants to sue, but she said, "But what good is that going to do? I can't get my kid back." So now she wants to get her other two kids back. And she doesn't know what to do. But then she would talk and then she would say, I don't know what to do. I just want my daughter back. It's like she would always go back and forth. I've had a lot of calls since I've been with you, but I think this one touched me a little bit more because every time she faints out of it, her friend would wake her up. Like, not, I don't know what her friend did, but she would, like, I don't know, but she would bring her back to reality, and then she would talk to me, and then she would beg me not to hang up the phone. And
Was this a call you got today? What city did the mom live in? All right, folks. We've Miss G's taking a break from that hard story. Apparently, she spoke to someone today who's lost a child. I don't know if it was in the foster care system or the guardianship system or what was going on, but Miss G's reporting a 13-year-old uh, passed away today, and I think I read somewhere on the internet about that. I can't remember, but I think I saw something about that. I think we have Miss G back. Miss G, you back with us?
The 13-year-old was in CPS custody.
Oh, in CPS custody. Okay. Wow, boy. And did that happen just today or
Passed
yes?
away. No, it was just recently, last month, the
Oh,
end
okay.
of the month.
Do you have any details about what happened?
Other than what I told you, that's it. She just didn't want to be there. She wanted to be with her mom. She kept saying, "My mom is a good mom. She never hurt us. She's never done drugs. She's a good mom." The social workers kept twisting the children's words, writing something completely different than what really is. And this is not new. This is an ongoing battle, and that's why when you doubt the corruption, and I know you doubt it because you're an attorney, and perhaps you maybe don't want to see it, or you're in denial of it. But CPS, there isn't one decent person in there. There isn't, because a decent person would not do what they're doing. A decent person would actually remove kids who are really being abused, not keep them with the abuser until they're dead, and then focus on children who are not being abused. And there's a lot of cases where I've seen ring cameras, videos where officers even tell the social worker, there's no abuse here. Kids are healthy. They're playing with their, electronics and playing games on the computer, and no abuse. But then they come back with another officer, and they have a court order to remove for imminent danger. But imminent danger is, I mean, I have to see burns, but why are the ones who are in imminent danger with burns and cuts and bruises, who are locked in the room or to their beds, they're not doing anything to help them? But then a healthy child is in imminent danger. It doesn't add up. And then I realized later on, working in your law firm, is that they can't adopt a damaged child. They don't. Nobody wants a damaged kid. No one. No one wants a damaged kid even for placement. It's like I feel like they're really demonic because they will take a healthy child, medicate them, and give them drugs or pregnate them. Either way, they're gonna get their money. If that teenager gets pregnant, guess what? They're gonna take that baby from her, and they're gonna put the baby in an adoptive home. So they're gonna get their funding either way. Either way, they're gonna get their funding. So it's a win-win situation for them.
Is the mother in any type of grief counseling or talking to religious leaders or anything?
I don't know. She was hysterical. Uh, she was not. I was crying along with her actually. I was. I tried to hold myself, but it's hard when a child. I mean, I love kids in general. I love kids so much, and it doesn't even have to be my own kid to feel love for them. I think children are sweet and innocent and loving in nature, and they do not deserve this. They don't deserve to become monsters because you put the children in harm's way. And nobody seems to understand the mother's cry because they always blame the mother for everything.
Why do you think that is? Corey, who's watching on Facebook, writes, I've said that for years. That's what happened in my case. My daughter was in care and both abused during a false removal. But I do see children who deserve to be removed and are, and then the parents sit here and lie and act shocked that their child or children are removed. We have a case where CPS returned a child and now she's missing. Corey goes on to write, money motivated, the legal kidnapping ring, money making scheme. Armando says, watching on YouTube, hey Armando, when you complain and you know you're right, they just don't like it. You got to admit that you're wrong, and I'm not going to do that. That's why they do what they do. Corey says on Facebook, I didn't want to use their R word, but my daughter was. Miss G, it's a tough evening, tough show. I'm going to end the show a little early tonight. Difficult time after your experience today. Folks, I want to thank you for watching. We'll be on tomorrow morning and Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please join us tomorrow and have a good evening. Bye-bye.